Hello everyone, Jurassic Man here, and today I'm going to be doing a very special video, or very sequence of videos that I'm going to be doing. And this one is going to be a very special one for this year, happy 2018, and it would be about the review of the prequel enemies, the droids. Now, I know they're part of the CSI and the Trait Federation, and they were a major part during the Clone Wars and the prequels trilogies, as they were the main enemies of the series. Despite the enemies I quoted, these guys are very cool for so-called enemies. Well, they kind of are. They're meant to be bad, but in reality, they were never the enemies at all. The enemies was hiding within. Well, actually, yeah, they actually kind of are the enemies since they're sort of controlled by both. They're both enemies. But anyways, let me get right to what I'm trying to say. That hopefully, if I could try, each week will be a review of this, followed by the last review, which will be very special. I'll be reviewing each one every week. Starting off with one that I want to do first, all the way to the one I really want to do last. So, yeah. I'll get to you that, and I'll see you when we start this review. So I'm gonna start this review by my somewhat least favorite, but still cool, and that is the B1 battle droid with the STAP. Now I forgot what the STAP is called, but the STAP is this vehicle that the battle droids are known to drive. This one is much larger than they're supposed to be, because they're in the pictures. If you look at this picture right here of a B1 battle droid riding on a STAP, you can see that it's much larger than it should be. So it's a pretty okay figure. This came out in 1998, of all things, which means Kenner actually did make this figure. As we can see with this box, you can see that it is pretty alright. You can see in the box that it has the Kenner logo, and it does have a few other things. It's supposed to be a sneak preview of the future line, or episode 1, and it really much shows all that, basically. So the toy itself is pretty okay. I mean, it's really good looking. I mean, this is what people were hoping for back in 98 and 99, well, until that. But unlike most people, I actually do like the prequels. I wasn't there, I was like born a year before. In fact, I think this toy is as old as me, I think. So, as I was saying, I really like the prequel movies. I don't care what anyone says. They were the first movies I saw. They were the first genre I saw. So I guess you say, if you grew up with the original, you become an asshole. Sorry about my language, but you actually do. If you're open-minded, then you're a good guy. However, if you're introduced to the sequels first, before the original, you start to like all of them. Same thing with me with Jurassic Park. I saw GP3 first, then I saw the others later. So yeah, that's why I love Jurassic Park and all this merchandise without giving, a big hoot like everyone else. So the figure itself, it's not very good. Let me review the figure first. Now it comes off very easily, and it has a very tight grip into the thing. Hold on. It's very strong in there, and it does not stand very well either. He has a bow leg structure, and because of that, he does not. Oh well. Well, when I tried standing him before, he never wanted to stand, but now he does. This is basically the first battle droids we get for the original trilogy, for the prequel trilogy, back from Kenner. So this is basically a Kenner sculpt. Awesome, right? Now, like I said, he does somewhat stand, and he doesn't have much articulation. His arm does have articulations, shoulder and elbow, but because they're so floppy, it's you can't really do much of it. It has neck articulation. It has a ball joint on the top of his head, which you can move around. and you could switch its head pivot to different directions. Because of this ball joint, you could give this battle droid some unique look. However, I wouldn't do it too much because it falls off like this, but it's not too hard to put it back in. Leg articulations, it has knees and waist articulation, but it doesn't have much to do for it since it can. Well, you can hardly stand like that. However, the droid itself is cool. It's best to just leave it on the vehicle, and you put it back on the vehicle like so, with the peg holes it has under its feet. You slide it in, and you put his arms right on the handles. Now the handles are adjustable, so you don't have to worry about pulling the plastic of this figure. Sorry about the camera view, but it looks good, doesn't it? Now, if you heard earlier, I heard a snap earlier, and this figure has a play feature. This little cassette down here is where would you put the fingers. You get 2 fingers, you place them like this, and you fly around with this guy. However, there's a button right here, and if you press it, it launches these fires. These well, they're supposed to be guns, but they turn them to firing missiles, and they fire at once, or you can fire one at a time. Now they go very far, and I lost them the first time, but I managed to find them again, and they go in very easily. The projectiles themselves are alright. They're very cylindrical shape, and they just go back in like this. So now the first one locks in, but the other one has a hard time locking in, and you could also do it by just lifting the carrying part like that. So the figure itself is alright. It's not my favorite because the figure is very loose. It's not very displayable unless you put it back on the STAP. Now the STAP itself is pretty cool. A bit inaccurate since it's much larger than it's supposed to be, but you know, I could take it. These was made when they're still called kids toys. Star Wars toys are no longer toys, they're just collectibles now. But I guess my standard of a collectible is every 2 years, and then after 2 years is now collectible instead of a toy. So I hope you guys like this review. Let me actually compare it with the other figures. You compare it to the 99 re-release of this. I'm pretty sure they released this back in 98. But as you can see, there are some major differences. However, they do take some of the advantages, such as this guy can actually stand. But I'm putting in this little stand, which I'll show in his review, and to make this position, and it looks pretty cool, I say myself. And compare it to another figure from the later line, is a Droid. Now this isn't the one that came in episode 1. I gotta look this up when it's reviewed so I could give it a proper name. But all I can say is that this figure is really nice, and it is worth getting if you want to be a collector. However, if you want an accurate look, I think I would suggest to get the Bandai Model Kit one, since that's pretty accurate itself. So, I hope you guys liked the review. I'll see you guys next time.